Hi Jeanette. I decided to make you a video to rant about YWAM. I figured I'd be able to talk a lot more about YWAM compared to like typing you a message. I'd be able to rant about a lot more stuff. I don't really have a plan of what I'm going to talk about, so hopefully this won't be too sporadic and crazy and will make sense. First of all, I would just say that I highly encourage doing a DTS, like especially even more than just traveling, just like going somewhere and traveling or going to study abroad. I would say a DTS definitely would beat that, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, and there might be some like argument or opposition from people if they think you're not going to end up going back to school, but if going to school is something you want to do or you feel called to do, then you definitely will. I mean, I'm kind of an example of that. I'm back at school. Ended up taking 2 years off, which is, people say like the longer time you take off, the less likely you are to go back to school, but I guess I'm a proof against that. If you have a determination, then you'll do it. And I know about, I want to say half, maybe a little less than half of the people in my DTS went back to school. Half of them had already graduated from college or weren't going to go at all, so I mean, it's kind of irrelevant for them. But yeah, so I would say doing a DTS, I would say like some of the benefits of it. For one, yeah, you do get to travel. That's always like a desire, I think, for us. But the biggest thing is like just getting to know God more. Your relationship with God will just grow so much more. And it is a missions focused thing, the DTS is, because they have the outreach, which is like the missions trip part of it. It is mission minded, but at the same time you don't have to want to do full-time missions in order to do a DTS, because DTS is discipleship training school, so it's all about the discipleship, just being discipled and being, yeah. Some of the topics that we studied on DTS, I don't remember what I've told you when I saw you at that play, so I'll just kind of start again. But some of the topics on DTS are like the character and nature of God, the father heart of God. Oh gosh, what were some of them? Learning how to hear God's voice, or how to like hear from God. Faith and finances, relationships. Let's see, evangelism. What else did we study? Spiritual warfare. Like, we had a week on the Holy Spirit. Just like all these different topics. And the thing about it is like, I went to a Christian school. I went to New Hope for 14 years, preschool through 12th grade. I went to church and all this stuff. But it's crazy because so many things on my DTS that I learned on my DTS I had never like known before or heard about before. And it's just because you have 6 months where you're spending your time focusing on God and focusing on getting to know Him more in your relationship. It's so much more powerful than just, going to church once a week or twice a week or whatever it is, going to Bible studies. It's so completely different. It's even different from going to Bible school right now, like college, because just the mindset is different, because people are there because they want to know God. Like at school right now, like my major is a ministry major, but there's people there who are studying math, like math majors and things like that. So it's so different from college. Like I would say doing a DTS before you do anything else is the best idea ever, because you get to know yourself so much more, and you get to know, like, you have more of a sense of what God wants you to do in your life, like what you're supposed to do in life, more of a calling. I know for me, I was interested in missions, and I was interested in kind of a couple different things, but when I was on DTS, it really like focused for me what I want to do now, and I kind of have more of like a passion for it instead of just like, yeah, this is what I want to do. It's more of like a drive for it. Let's see, what else? I mean, your experience on your DTS is going to be different no matter where you go, because I know people who went to England for their DTS. I know someone in Montana right now for her DTS. Someone who went to Salem, out to Australia. So everyone's experience is going to be slightly different because you're in a different place, different people, etc. But overall, I would say it's pretty much generally the same. Yeah, you get to know the people on your DTS so well, particularly if it's smaller. I was on a Frontiers DTS, which focused on going to places that people hadn't been before for missions or pioneering new things. And there was I think there was like 8 or 9 of us students on that one. And then there was a sports DTS, which focused on ministering to people through sports. And there was about 7 or 8 of them. So we combined, and we did most of our like lectures together. We traveled together and stuff. Like our outreaches were different focus, but most of the time we were together. And so you get to know those people so well. They say that just that short amount of time, because I was only with like most of those people for like 3.5 months. But they say that because you're with them, you're living with them, sometimes you're traveling with them, you're learning with them, you're growing with them, like you're growing in God with them. It's like you've had known them for like 7 years. So even just a short amount of time, it's like they say that you've known them for about 7 years, like emotionally wise. So you really get to know people well, and you really get to like have good, solid, godly relationships that aren't just like, I don't know, flaky. That's not really what I mean to say, but there's a solid foundation, because you guys are like learning together and you're studying the same things, you're going through struggles together, you're overcoming things, and it's like the most amazing thing ever. And I do keep in touch with some of them still. I mean, it's been about a year and a half, a couple months shy of a year and a half since I've seen everyone. So it is hard to keep in touch with everyone. You know, you don't really keep in touch with everyone because they're halfway across the world, people are busy, whatever. But I do try and keep in touch with some of them really well, and we Skype sometimes or message. But anyways, that's kind of irrelevant to whatever that guy was talking about. Yeah, I don't know what kind of things that you might want to know, but let me think. If you have a travel bug and you could be interested in something like this, I would so highly encourage it, because yeah, traveling like is good. You're gonna see places and do things, but on DTS you just learn so much more about yourself. I would say that you would mature a lot. Another thing that I don't remember if I explained was kind of like the format of DTS. So generally they're about 6 months long is like the general time period. The first 3 months they call lecture phase, and the second 3 months they call outreach phase. So lecture phase is that time where you're every week having a different topic. You have a small group you go to every week. You have like a mentor that you can meet with maybe once a week and just talk through everything you're learning and stuff. And then outreach phase is like the missions trip. So when you go to another country and you apply what you've been learning. And like we also did do some like local ministry and things like that. Let's see. We're also things that just you have to do on base is you have like a work duty. I call them slightly different bases, I guess. But anyways, so work duty. You choose that about the beginning of your DTS. Basically, it's something that you do every single day, maybe for like an hour. Mine was lunch cleanup. So after lunch, I would go clean up the kitchen. Like we each had our individual duty in the kitchen that we did. Just take like 45 minutes. Some people did yard work, all those different kind of things. So basically, you have some sort of work duty that you do every day of the week. It's not really that hard, like every base has it, but yeah. Oh, so I know that's kind of like a bad thing. You're like, I don't want to work, so I'll talk about a good thing. So they have this thing called the free pile or the giveaway pile. Most amazing thing ever. Basically what it is, it's just this area. Some places have like a room or a closet or whatever area they choose. And if you don't want something anymore, you can put it there. So let's say like you're leaving to go back home and your luggage is like way too full, so you can put stuff there. But so you can also take things there from it. So if other people are leaving, they might put a ton of clothes in there, or like shampoo, or like I got my sleeping bag there. There's tons of stuff there, and you can take whatever the heck you want. It's free. It's a free pile. I got this sweater that I'm wearing right now from the free pile. A lot of pretty much half of my wardrobe when I came back was from the free pile, because it's fantastic. Like I got jewelry from it. Like I said, I got my sleeping bag from it that I used like the whole time on DTS, and yeah, so it's an awesome part about DTS, I guess. Kind of a random little fact. So I'm just trying to think of some other things that might interest you. Finances, how I got to DTS, because I know that's a really big concern probably if you look into it at all, because it's kind of expensive depending on where you go. It can be a little bit more expensive, but I actually have some crazy cool stories about how I ended up being able to pay for it all. And I've actually already made another video for another friend about that, so I will send that to you as well. It's kind of long, but if you're interested in it all, then I would definitely recommend you watching that, because it's kind of encouraging. I hope at least it's encouraging. Yeah, I'm sorry, I still don't remember what we've talked about before, but if you're interested in like how to find a DTS, like where to go, this is what I did. This isn't what everyone has done, but this is what someone else told me to do. And I ordered this manual. They have it, I don't have it with me, it's at school, but it's called like the Go Manual or something. I can send you that link too if you're interested. Basically, it's just a little magazine about this big, and it has all of the bases that they have all over the world, and like the ones that run DTSs. And so basically what I did is I went through and I highlighted or underlined whatever, any schools that looked interesting to me or maybe fit my time frame, because you can do a different school focus. Like I said, mine was Frontiers, there was sports, there's like so many different. The base I was at also ran a music, art, and dance school. It's called MAD, where that's the way that they do ministry. You choose a focus, either music, art, or dance. There's like Compassion GTSs, where they focus on like helping like the needy. There's just like a whole bunch of them. Yeah, anyway, so I went through and I found ones that might be like good time fit, and then I ended up going to all of their different websites. It also lists the websites of that base, so you can kind of check them out and get a feel for what they're like, maybe see some pictures, things like that. And so that's how I ended up choosing my school. It was just through that, and it was actually the first website that I went to, and it just felt right. Like I just knew that that's where I was supposed to go. And I kind of felt like maybe it was kind of a God thing. He was kind of telling me, like, you don't need to go, because I ended up having like 50 of them underlined. Like I was going to go to 50 websites, and I felt like God was kind of like, this is where you need to go. Like you don't even need to look at the other ones. But me being stupid, of course, I was like, well, I just want to look at the other ones just to make sure. And like the next 5 or 6 that I went to their websites, something was wrong. Like it was down for maintenance, it had been moved, like it wasn't working at all. And I kind of took that as like, okay, maybe I should just stick with that first one, not waste my time. But of course, I'm stupid, and I wasted my time and went to the rest, however many there was. There's a lot of them. And it ended up that I stuck with the very first one that I went to. But that's okay. I learned my lesson. I still got the right school. So yeah, that's how I chose my DTS. Now, I know others maybe just had a connection. They knew someone who went to that school, so they went to it or whatnot. But that's how I did mine, because I didn't want to limit myself to a certain location. I wanted it to be where I was supposed to go, kind of a thing. And honestly, people are like, oh, you went to Australia, that's so cool. But honestly, like, moving halfway across the world for 6 months to a place you've never been before, to like live with people you've never met before, it was the scariest thing I've done. Not gonna lie, it was definitely the scariest thing I've done. But I feel like it was kind of just like me having to step out of my comfort zone, because missions isn't really out of my comfort zone, but that was. And so yeah, I feel like it was kind of just God teaching me that I can do that, because I'm probably going to have to do scary things like that in the future. And so it was just kind of a stepping stone for me. It made me put my faith more in God and made me grow in Him more, because if I had been closer to home, then I would have been in my comfort zone, not as scared, and I just kind of would have maybe not taken it as seriously. I don't know. I just feel like for me that was a necessary aspect. And yeah, I definitely think that the things I learned on DTS, I will take with me forever. Like, I like to share them with people, just little bits here and there. I learned so much about myself, about God, and like my relationship with God. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have, I can tell you specific stories if you want. They might take a little bit more time. I don't know how much you want to watch of a video, but I definitely can try and share some stories, or if you have time you want to Skype or anything like that. Or like, I'll be back for Christmas break. I have 3 weeks. I'll be here too, so I can talk with you then also. But yeah, just let me know if you have any questions, and I'll answer them, and then I can share some stories. If there's stories about outreach, I might have to share those in person just because of the nature of them. But yeah, I hope that this video helped you out and maybe encouraged you or inspired you a little bit, and I hope to hear back from you. Alright, bye.